Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your end of October 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Serena here. I love these cards, but picking them up is not that easy, and I don't want to pick up more than one. Oh, I did pick up more than one. I really feel like I want to pick this one up. Let's see. Sometimes I have to really pay attention because sometimes it can be hard. I'm going to pick an additional card. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. I want to just say something because I have been doing the astrological readings for November in the last few days. And for for Leo, I remember that the full moon in mid-November in Taurus is falling in your 10th house of career. So that can definitely be something that is either very good, like a promotion or honors, recognition, or it might be something where it's like it's an ending. It's like run its course. And the reason I say all of this is that, and I know that I'm doing this reading for late October, but it's not these types of readings. The timing doesn't really come into play for me the way it does with the transits. So the Three of Swords is the heart of the matter. This is a card of, it has different meanings, but one of them is feeling rejected, feeling like you have been cut out of something. So when I look at the past position and I see the Hangman, I think of the person who has been strung along with something, maybe kind of told some really nice things that they believed and then it never came to pass. Or like, for instance, if this was like, oh yeah, you're going to get this raise, but first we have to, we have a very busy time right now and we really have to have all hands on deck and blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out that, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, after they were squeezing all this extra work from you, they decided to tell you that, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to get that raise after all. And it feels like, a slap in the face. It feels like, it feels like rejection of some sort. Now, this can also be with your love life. If you were seeing someone who was married or committed and they strung you along. Hangman is about you can be in a state of suspension. And you might really believe like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, this isn't going to happen. And that person kind of like strings you along. Oh, I'm going to leave my wife, I'm going to leave my husband, and they never do. And maybe you finally confront them and sparks fly. Or you find something out that, about what they said doesn't match up with what's actually going on. The higher message, and that can be very painful too, because it can feel like you were deceived. The higher message is the Fool card, which is 0 point, absolutely new beginnings, and the High Priestess, which is about tuning into your higher self. So what does that mean? Well, if I put these two cards together, I would say, congratulations, Leo. You are experiencing a spiritual awakening. And this is like the reset button. So this Three of Swords situation, whatever that might mean in your life, that's like the end of the old paradigm for you. And your days of suffering are over with if you choose to step into a new reality. And by the way, one thing I want to say too is if you have been in a long-term hangman situation where you have been waiting and waiting and waiting, which a fixed sign can do, you have a lot of patience to wait for someone's situation to change, there can be this sense of you finally done with that chapter of your life, but you might be kind of, you have to really embrace it. You can't be afraid of, shifting into that. Well, crosses use the Daughter of Cups, which is in most decks, we call that the Page of Cups. I really like that illustration, with those different colors. This is a card which can be a person who tends to be on the naive side. Now, this card is connected to Pisces, and Pisces, or you could say gullibility. There are certain, a sign like Pisces, you might say, has that innocence about them, because this can be the card of the child. And, you're a Leo. So what this can mean, but, when I do private readings, astrological readings, I will see it doesn't matter what sign someone is. They could have, their sun in conjunction with Neptune. They could have their moon in conjunction. Venus squaring Neptune is a big one for love relationships, where the person falls in love with the wrong individual. They fall in love with deceptive people or addicted people. And that's a pattern that they have to stop before they can expect things to change. Because they might leave this relationship, but they'll very likely get something, similar to that. And the High Priestess is discerning these things at a higher level. Not looking at someone's, superficial things of like whether or not they're a good catch, but some, where is their ethics? Are they to be trusted? If somebody is cheating on their spouse, no, I'm sorry, that's not being judgmental to, stay away from that. Because, how can a person possibly believe that they are, going to be treated any differently? Of course, a Leo person would. A Leo person would say, wow, I'm so fabulous that I can make this person want to be faithful because I'm so fabulous. Now, of course, that can happen sometimes. Maybe it is the one, and that person has been searching for someone like you, but not if they're not willing to step out of that situation, that relationship situation. Although I will say that sometimes people are concerned about their spouse's reaction, or maybe they have children. So I do realize it's not always clear cut. Okay, now I have to make, because I had somebody correct me, and I think it was this card, and say it was Seven of Swords. I said it was Seven of Swords instead of Eight of Swords. What's coming in? Eight of Swords. This can be a time when you find out painfully how you are programmed to believe certain things. Maybe it's like a fear that you have of being alone, and it makes it very hard for you just to move on. But it's a good thing. It gives you information, to see where you tend to be vulnerable. It's really not a bad thing. So you have to keep that in mind, even though it can be uncomfortable. And this kind of like these self-limiting beliefs can be easily imposed upon people by their caregivers. It's such a commonplace thing. It's not even, necessary to discuss this, because we know that happens a lot, where adults project their fears and their programming onto their children. And then the children just absorb it and take it in like this is the truth, when in fact it isn't. The outcome is a devil card. I love this one with the feet and the hooves on fire. The devil card is connected to Capricorn. And it's a card, and really it's about the ruler of Capricorn, as far as I'm concerned, Saturn, which sounds a lot like Satan, doesn't it? But the devil card is about, these excessive, like greed and lust, and how they impact, how they inform our decisions. And so it's a cautionary tale. Now, going back to the Eight of Swords, it can be that a person's operating out of fear, and so they do things based on what they know. So, for instance, if the Three of Swords is you got passed over for a promotion, but maybe you feel like it was done in a very disrespectful, shady way, and you're so insulted by it that you feel like quitting, but you are afraid of not being employed. You're afraid you'll never get employed again, even though there's no evidence that would ever happen. So you kind of sit on this anger, but you feel disrespected inside. That means you're choosing money over your sense of, dignity. But, there are extenuating circumstances. There are some people who are living paycheck to paycheck, and it's not that cut and dried. So I get it. But I don't think that's not really what I'm referring to. I'm referring to a person who refuses to acknowledge that this is a problem, that this is something that they need to address within themselves. Or we could say lust. If you're in, this can be like a lover's triangle. You may not even know that person's spouse or a significant other. You may not have never met them, but you're in with them in this triangle. And it may feel bad inside. You may feel like you're doing something wrong. And, your conscience may prick at you. But you have this very strong lust inside of you that makes it hard to quit. It's like a bad habit. And so it's something that you have to reconcile. So I picked a clarification card, and I got the Mother of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And royalty I always associate with Leo. The Queen of Pentacles is, to me, ultimately about embracing your abundance that you already have. And the word emptiness came inside my mind. I've been trying to, because there was this advice for people that tend to analyze what comes to them, so, which could be, intuitive hits, and trying to analyze. And I had that habit. So now I'm just saying what comes to mind. And so even if you have been in I'm going to say a spicy situation, you still may feel this emptiness deep down inside. And with the Daughter of Cups, you may be feeling or knowing now that you were led on by that person. Maybe that person told you things that made you think you were in a real relationship, and you look back on it, if some other things have transpired recently, and you're like, damn, I fell for this hook, line, and sinker. So I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is marshaling all of your forces and being content with your riches, which have nothing to do with the outer world. And same thing, and the same thing applies also with work matters, because the Queen of Pentacles, I could see somebody that has their own business at home. Like if you have been laid off, or if you lost your job for some reason, Leo, you may be like, oh my gosh, what can I do? And really, you may have these riches around you, these opportunities that you just haven't even acknowledged, because you're so focused on what was lost, instead of like this whole new chapter the Fool can represent. So that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.